Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Georgiemon and I'm your friendly neighborhood anime and manga fan. I love all things anime, all things manga, and I'm here today to talk about Chainsaw Man chapter 164. So, what did I think about this week's chapter? To be frank, I thought this week's chapter was fantastic because it once again sets up what's to come in, going forward with Denji's character. Because in this week's chapter, we get to see really what's going on in Denji's mental psyche, because my man is broken. I mean, we know that he's been separated with Nayuta, and he has been pretty much just in a downward spiral when it comes to his mental state. And this week's chapter really emphasized that, because my man is just down bad. Like, he's literally down on his luck, and I feel bad for him. I know a lot of you guys have been feeling bad for him too, and I don't blame you, because Denji has just had a very, very rough time as of late, and he can never catch a break, which is a real shame. But it was a little optimistic towards the end of the chapter. But before I go any further with this chapter, I just want to give you guys a quick reminder to make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you guys can be up to date with all my anime and manga, as well as all my Chainsaw Man content that I'll be providing in this channel. It really helps out a lot, and I would really, really appreciate it if you guys could subscribe to my YouTube channle. So if you guys could, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Now, with all that out of the way, let's get into this week's chapter. So this week's chapter starts off where pretty much we leave off last time, which is pretty much Yoru confronting Denji, and she's taking over Asa, and we see Denji just kind of like, what the heck, like, what's going on? And you see just Yoru like nonchalantly be like, hey, wake up, like, fight me right now, come on, stop. And Denji's like, bro, what are you going on about? I was like, dude, like, just, where's Nayuta? He just keeps asking, like, where's Nayuta? Yoru's like, who? I don't even know who that person is. And then Denji's like, listen, I'll do whatever, I'll fight you as many times as you want, just tell me where Nayuta is, please tell me she's safe. And you just see like desperation in his eyes, which I don't blame him. I mean, Nayuta is the last remnants of his family that he has. That brotherly sister bond that both of them have. It's just very, very sad to see Denji like this, because he's a worried older brother. And he doesn't know where his sister is at, Nayuta. And we as the audience, we don't even know. So it's very, it's very emotional in that sense. And I don't think that Nayuta has been killed, because I highly doubt that she might be killed off screen, but who knows? Fujimoto's crazy. My man just does anything he wants, so I wouldn't be too surprised. But if I was a betting man, and I would have to put money on it, I don't think Nayuta is dead, at least not now. But what we see is that pretty much eventually, Asa takes over Yoru and she snaps out of it. It's like, what the heck? And then you see Denji's like, please, like, help me find like Nayuta. And you just see them eventually go back to the apartment complex, that Denji and Nayuta live in. And you see just the remnants of their apartment, which is just rubble and everywhere. The whole apartment complex got destroyed. And you see just Denji like desperately looking for Nayuta, and it's very sad because he's moving, all these rubble everywhere. And even Yoru was like, this is like a waste of time. Like, this is, what happened. Probably some armed adults came up and, killed Nayuta. Like, why? This is all pointless. Like, what happened. Stop, like, lying to yourself. She's gone. Like, Yoru's just being a real downer, to be honest. And it makes sense. I mean, she's, besides Katana Man, they're the two biggest Chainsaw Man haters, which is hilarious. The greatest hater of all time in Yoru versus the greatest hater of current time, Katana Man. But what we see is pretty much, as Denji just continuously, helplessly, he keeps moving all this rubble out of the way, trying to find Nayuta. You see, eventually, Asa takes over once again, and she grabs, Denji by the hand, and you see some sparks flying, at least from, Asa, because she's blushing. And we do know that Asa has had some feelings for Denji, and we know that, the reason they don't remember who Nayuta is because Nayuta erased their memories. So, we do know how that date played it out. Like, Denji does care about Asa. He likes her. I mean, he even confirmed it to Nayuta, and we know that Asa likes Denji. But there's a hurdle in the relationship because she thinks that he just ditched her. She thinks that he never showed up for the date, when in reality that didn't happen. So what we see is eventually, Asa just kind of comforts Denji and just says like, hey, listen, when you were Chainsaw Man, you told me, like, when you saved me, I know how it feels, to have lost family because of your own fault, because of you blaming yourself. I mean, we know that because, Asa felt like that with her mom when she died during the disaster of like the tornado during the Chainsaw Man fight. And we also know because of the cat, it's just any person that she's had family, like any family member of hers, she feels involved in their death. Like, she feels like it's her fault that they're gone. And that's something that, Denji also feels, whether it's with both Aki and Power as well as Nayuta now. And it's I think once again represents why I think these two coexist so good with each other. I think that they would make a genuinely good couple, and I think that they need that person in their life to bring them and lift them up from the despair that they're suffering, which is wishful thinking. I want them to end up together, but knowing Fujimoto, he won't let that happen, because my man does not want me to be happy. He does not want happy endings. He wants to make us all sad and torture us. But I really hope, Fujimoto, if you're watching, please, I beg you, man, I'll be down on my knees begging you, please don't just let them both be happy, please. But what happens is, eventually, as she's saying all these nice things, like, is there anything I can do for you? And it's very heartwarming and very caring for Asa to do all this. But Denji just says, hey, what are you doing? Like, scratch all this. Like, aren't you, what's your deal? What's your deal, lady? Didn't you just, like, kick me in the balls? And, like, were you all over, like, trying to, like, fight me? Like, what's your issue? Like, I can't even get a read on you. Which is hilarious, because of course, if I'm Denji, he doesn't know anything about Yoru and all that. He doesn't know, like, there's two personalities. He just thinks it's the same chick. So he's just like, what do you have any, like, bipolar? Are you bipolar? Like, what's going on? And, Asa's just like, she's sweating. She obviously has, like, anxiety right now. And she's like, listen, how about we just fight now? And, like, after we fight, you'll never have to fight me again. And we both will be fine. So, like, let's just do that. And Denji's like, dude, lady, I'm not gonna fight. But then Denji brings up a very important reason why. And that's because he knows that every time he's transformed into Chainsaw Man, nothing good comes out of it. Like, all the people that he's been around, nothing has ever come out of it. So he does not want to transform into Chainsaw Man, at least from what he says right now, which eventually leads Asa to be like, hey, you know what, Famine, like, what's his deal? Like, is there any way for him to, like, transform? And Famine, of course, the big idiot that she is, she's like, you know what, I think there's a reason. He probably is hungry. So, like, and of course Famine would say something like that, because she's the, like, the big glutton in the group. I mean, she's Famine, for crying out loud. She's always starving. So it was really funny seeing her just, like, recommend, like, hey, how about if he eats something? Because that would solve all his problems. Which I know for myself, if I'm hungry, oh yeah, I think if I go to the you can eat buffets, I'm fine. Like, I'll be fine afterwards. But what happens is, eventually Asa's like, hey, is there anything that can make you happy? He's like, no. It's like, how about if we get some food? It's like, all right, because you hear, like, Denji's stomach rumble. And she's like, how about, what do you want to eat? Like, we can get you anything. And then Denji's just like, sushi. And then Asa's like, no, anything but sushi. I hate sushi. Which, by the way, red flag. I'm sorry, Asa. I'm sorry. You just lost me with that. I mean, I'm a big sushi guy. I love sushi. I go to you can eat sushis left and right. So, sorry. Like, that was the deal breaker. If I was on Tinder swiping, if I was a Denji on Tinder, I would have swiped left. If that was in her bio, like, I don't need sushi, I would have been like, oh, what a shame. She missed out on somebody. She missed out on me. She's missing out on me. Now, I'm not missing out on her. But what happens is pretty much, how the chapter ends is pretty much, Denji's just like, I want sushi. And Asa's like, she just has this gross, like, face, like, okay, I'll put up with it. But this face is so funny. And this is the thing for Fujimoto. He always makes, like, the funniest expressions, like, when it comes to his character designs, which is something I really like. Like, their expressions are so genuine. Like, I could see, I could see a real life person doing, like, that pouty face, that awkward face of, that Asa's doing. So I thought that was really, really funny. And yeah, that's how pretty much the chapter is. It seems like they're gonna go get some sushi, and I would not be surprised if in the next chapter they're just all chilling in Fami's apartments just eating, and it would be more of a calm chapter where they were all kind of like interacting with each other, and then laying down, like, the foundation of their plan going forward, because we still don't know how they're gonna fight the Nostradamus apocalypse, pretty much. So I think the next week's chapter might be like a very not next week because we're on a break, but 2 weeks from now when the new chapter comes out, I think it'll be a very exposition heavy chapter where we'll get to see how they're gonna plan to defeat Nostradamus and whatnot, with Denji and Asa's help. Now they both have, like, a huge power up from being feared by the world. But yeah, with all that being said, what did you guys think about this week's chapter? Did you guys love it? Did you guys hate it? Did you guys thought it was alright? Whatever you guys thought, let me know in the comment section down below. Also, thank you so much for sticking all the way to the end of the video. I really appreciate it. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more Chainsaw Man, as well as more anime and manga content in the near future. But yeah, with all that being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye bye.